Makakuvu Ali El Bey, here at the studios, LI Web TV, 110 channel internet television network, coming to you from Freeport before a live studio audience. I'd like to say welcome to our viewers, and we have here tonight a special group of people. I have with me to my right a very good friend, artist extraordinaire, Mr. Ron Griffin. And I want to say, welcome to the Music Masters. Ron, how you doing, bud?
Very well.
Good to see you, man. How's the family?
Family's doing good.
This is Rakim's older brother, Rakim the rapper.
Doing very well.
And Ron and I go back several decades, doing a lot of stuff with music, as well as community development. Ron, what you got for me today, man?
Well, I brought Fluidity.
Fluidity.
Fluidity. And that's a bunch of individuals that are musicians extraordinaire.
Okay.
And I want them to speak for themselves. To my left, Harold Keith. Next to Harold is Lauren Gardner, DeBanchi, and Dimitri.
Now, Fluidity is what kind of a group?
Fluidity is a mixture of rap, dance, and R&B, hip-hop, jazz music. And we are in the process of actually tailoring our sound, and with the whole ideology of hip-hop psychology, which DeBanchi is going to elaborate a little more in terms of what we're doing and what our goals are.
DeBanchi. Did I say that right?
DeBanchi, yeah.
DeBanchi. Mm-hmm. That sounds like some African name, brother. You put that together yourself?
No, I didn't. No, thank God. No.
DeBanchi, tell us about the group and how it became into existence.
Sure. Well, if you guys could think about the first time you were in love, right? So everybody, studio audience, people out there, TV land, think about the first time you were in love. What did it feel like? Well, your emotions became rich. The lights looked brighter. Music sounded richer, right? Everything had a texture to it. Colors were brighter. That's what Fluidity is about. We take various elements that always belong together in terms of black music and black culture that have somewhat been split up and splintered, and we're bringing it back. And it's love because it's all integrated. It flows beautifully. It's like wavelength. It's fluid. It's like a dance. And it goes from one element to the next. And hip-hop psychology is really just the psychology of understanding human behavior. But specifically, human behavior that's not always traditionally looked at or traditionally spoken about in the canon of what's considered psychology. And a lot of that is hip-hop music, jazz music, and the influences that music and culture have on human life and human development.
I noticed in your lyrics that you refer to a lot of ancient Kemet. Okay, you speak about the Nubian kings. You speak about the Tekken. You call it the obelisk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I picked that up. Where does that come from for you?
To me, people are, I know you guys are plugging that there's a 39th anniversary of hip hop, 40th anniversary of the Zulu Nation, and truth be told, it's not the 40th. It could be more like the 4,000th, depending on how you look at what we define as hip hop. That was really just a cultivation of certain elements, and we named it certain things. But graffiti, when you look at elements of graffiti or the first people who ever wrote or spoke in a certain way, I mean, that goes back to ancient cultures, particularly in regions such as around the Indian Ocean, the Middle East, and East Africa. So.
Okay, so when you refer to that depth in our culture, and saying that it could go back even 4,000 years, we're talking about the griot and the rhythms that come out of the storytelling from antiquity.
Yeah.
Now, you have a prolific dancer with you.
Yes. Lauren Gardner.
Lauren, your movements bespeak your training in not just hip-hop, but in other elements of dance.
Yeah, I'm trained in jazz and hip-hop dance with elements of contemporary dance, and I'm trying to mix in some liturgical elements. but particularly street jazz and hip hop dance.
How long you been dancing?
Well, that would give away certain numbers, but quite some time, since I was quite little.
Since you were quite little?
Yeah, my auntie was a dancer, so.
Right on. So it's in the family.
Yeah,
It's in the blood.
I guess.
And how is it that you crafted your skill to fit with Fluidity?
That's a good question. It's very different being the dancer or part of a musical group. Obviously, you're kind of odd man out, but it's a really unique opportunity because I feel like I get to display whoever I am at that moment. A lot of dancers are really about communal dance and dancing all together, which I do all day long with my children at school when I'm working with them. So it's interesting to be able to work with a group and be able to try to manifest and express all of the elements, the emotions, and the stories and the narrative that's going on through the music, through the body.
Now this group is part of an educational project. You want to speak about that?
Yeah, do you want to speak about it?
You can start off.
Yeah. So hip hop psychology, and basically hip hop psychology is really looking at the ways that people of all ages across lifespan development interact with music, particularly urban musical styles, and how they use that as a means of expression, communication, catharsis, therapy, and the other end of it, how that restricts certain things about them, how that says things about the environments they come from, and how that also says things about their resilience.
And what institution are you affiliated with?
We're affiliated with the City University of New York.
Okay, up on 130th Street.
Well, actually, we're on 34th Street.
34th
It's the
Street.
graduate
The
school
graduate
at the
Okay,
yeah.
right on. Now, at the end of the table is also a very good friend of mine. We also go back several decades. I've done a lot of stuff with his dad in music. And good friend of mine, Mr. Harold Keith. Welcome, Harold.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. It's good to be around
I
here.
see you still cranking that guitar axe, baby.
Oh, I can't put it down.
Can't put it down?
Yeah, after you and Ronald and my father, when I was a kid, just threw me up there on stage playing, just keep playing. I couldn't stop it. You know?
See, the musical roots grow deep up here at the table. And we have to the right the drummer extraordinaire, Mr. Dimitri Brown. Dimitri, how you feel, baby?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
I'm good, man. I heard you over there cranking a bit, man.
Yeah, I keep the heartbeat flowing for him.
Now, Dimitri is a very interesting musician because he also plays a soprano saxophone, alto saxophone, and that's an unusual mix. A percussionist playing saxophone. How did that come about?
Saxophone is my first instrument. I started playing sax in 4th grade all the way up through high school. Marching band, concert band, jazz band. I played baritone sax, the big one. And I played in all of those bands, from alto, tenor. At one point I had a tenor, and I was able to acquire that custom Yamaha there, that's a professional horn. And but in the back of my mind, I always liked drums. It was something about the congas or the bongos. I used to bang on the floor at my grandmother's house because in one of the rooms there was no carpeting. So I would hear the music playing, the 70s music, the R&B, the Spanish music playing. And I'd make up my beats, and we'd get pots and pans when we get home, my sister and I. And my mom always shied me away from buying a set, but I knew one day I was going to get a set. I would play air drums, and I would hear people playing certain licks, and I'll go home and try it out, and here I am.
Now, I gotta say this, man. My man Ron sitting up here looking all professional, trying not to smile. How'd y'all hook up with Griffin? Me and this cat. Now, at the table here, I don't know if folks in the audience are picking this up, but at the table here, there's a wine dance undercurrent. Keith is from wine dance, Griff is from wine dance, and I'm from wine dance. So I'm trying to figure out how y'all got hooked up with Griff.
Well, I'm also from wine dance,
Oh my goodness.
and Ron is my brother-in-law.
So you got problems.
Don't tell him that.
What's the therapeutic for you there?
That's funny.
I'm sorry, folks.
He keeps
Listen,
me busy though.
forgive me, folks, man. I mean, you guys out there in the studio audience, this is like a homecoming here. So you got to remember, man, that folks that haven't seen each other get together, it's a good feeling. As I said earlier, Harold is a junior. Harold Keith Jr. His father, Harold Keith Sr. He and I used to play music together, and he's a bad flute player. And when I used to play the congas, and he played the flute, and we do that for hours. And I like to say that this group here is charting a new dimension in rap music, because most rappers subscribe to the 5 elements of hip hop: beat boys, break dancing, DJs, graffiti, and what's the other one?
It's knowledge, lifestyle, and production.
He got it.
Yeah.
But they come with a live band. And as Ron said, it's intermingled with jazz and rhythm and blues and hip hop. And the lyrics are conscious-based lyrics. They're not just spitting and cursing and disrespecting the community. They're giving information that raises the consciousness, and it uplifts you and leaves you not only patting your feet and nodding your head, but smiling and feeling good about what you heard. You do most of the writing?
I write all my own stuff.
Oh, so, okay,
Everything.
you write all your own
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
And you choreograph your own music. I mean, your own dance steps. And I like to say, you're going to enjoy what you hear when Fluidity comes to town. I'd like to close out with a couple of announcements. The Zulu Nation, as Debanchu has mentioned, is doing the 40th anniversary of the Zulu Nation and the 39th anniversary of hip hop. That's going to be at the National Black Theater, November 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. The 10th is also going to be at SOB's. On the 8th, you're going to see Ice-T, Public Enemy, Ice Cube, and a whole bunch of other original rap artists. Additionally, on November 18th, Monday, November 18th, we have the Choreographer's Ball. And the Choreographer's Ball is going to be at the High Line Ballroom, 431 West 10th Street, and that's Monday, November 18th. So folks, if you want to see more about Fluidity, you want to find out more about what's happening in the hip-hop world, come on out on those dates. The 39th anniversary of hip-hop, the 40th anniversary of the Zulu Nation at the National Black Theater, the Choreographer's Ball at the Highline Ballroom, downtown Manhattan on West 10th Street. I'm Makakuvu Ali El Bey. I'd like to thank my guests for coming and being on the show. Look forward to seeing them again. We're signing off. This is LI Web TV, a 110 channel internet television network coming to you from Freeport, New York. Udma Akuyur, Line of the New Dawn.